Alright, welcome to a video. It's freezing and I'm wearing shorts because I'm a little lazy and it's actually not that cold. I don't really care about the cold. I'm completely lying and I'm fibbing. I don't really care about the cold. But I did want to make a video and today's not really the best day. My lips are kind of freezing, so I might be like lisping my words. I'm really trying to pronounce what I'm saying because my upper and bottom lip are like starting to freeze. So I'm gonna try and pronounce my words as properly as I can. And since it's cold, I'm going to show everyone how to set their own tire pressures. Now, every single winter, a lot of people see their tire pressure lights come on, and the reason why is because the cold weather. The cold weather usually makes it so your tires will read a less pressure on your dashboard of your car, or that makes the tire pressure light come on, or it just means that your tire pressures are actually going to be low in general. Sorry about the wind, I hope you can hear me. I'm going to talk as loud as I can. The reason why is because the cold air is less dense. It's not taking up as much space. So I'm going to show you how to actually set your tire pressure and what it is you need to look for. On this truck specifically, this is a 2022 Ford Ranger. It has a cold pressure of 30 PSI, and I'll show you where it shows. You see that? The whole truck just rolled back. It has a cold pressure of 30 PSI, and you can read that on your actual door card. 30 pounds of pressure is pretty low for a cold pressure on most things. I'm not sure why on this truck 30 PSI. I mean, 30 PSI is not like super low. It might be for like towing purposes or comfort purposes or drivability purposes or weight purposes. You can set your tire pressure however it is you kind of want in your car within a certain margin of excess or not enough. You don't want to set your pressures too low because then it could be a little dangerous. You don't want to set them too high because it can be dangerous, but you also don't want to cause premature tire wear and stuff like that. So for a lot of factory cars, it's best you just follow what the actual manufacturer recommends. And you can kind of go like 2 pounds up or 2 pounds down. I recommend you can go a couple pounds above what you actually need to be rather than go that many in pounds. Like I'd rather have 35 to 36 PSI in my tires in a truck, but I wouldn't have 25 or 24 PSI in the tires in my truck. I feel like that's just too low. So as long, my general rule of thumb, and yes, it is too much for most vehicles. If your vehicle's pretty heavy or you have it loaded or it's just heavy in general and the manufacturer only says like 32, maybe 34 PSI, you can fill them to 40. You'll probably see some abnormal tire wear in the center part of your tire. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, you should just set it to a normal range. 40, you know, it can help you get better fuel economy. You shouldn't go over 40. On most tires, the maximum PSI that a tire recommends, not just the manufacturer, but the tires on your vehicle, most of them have like a max pressure of like around 44 is usually what it says on the sidewall of your tire. But you shouldn't, but you can, you'll get better gas mileage, you know. You can weigh out the pros and cons on whether the life of your tires is worth more than the gas mileage that you're getting, or the gas mileage is worth more than the life of your tires. That's completely up to you. My safe number is usually like 35 PSI in most cases, 34, 35. But I'm going to show you I'm going to set this to the recommended manufacturer specifications, which is 30 pounds of air. So when you walk up to your vehicle, it's going to say it right here. This is going to be your cold tire pressure. It says it right there. Cold tire pressure, 210 kPa or 30 PSI, and that's for everything front and rear. Sometimes on some cars, the front and rears will have staggered tire pressure. And sometimes if you don't have a full-size spare tire, that will also have a different tire pressure. But usually in most cars, it's on the door jamb right there. Sometimes it's on the actual door. Sometimes it's on the passenger door. It depends what kind of car. If you drive something like a Volkswagen or some kind of luxury brand, it could be in a different spot. But usually it's not. Usually it's right there. For me checking the air, this is what I've got. I have everyone, so here's the deal. I'm all about people doing things for themselves. I don't think you should have AAA. I think you should just buy the equipment you need so you can actually do things yourself and not have to rely on people or wait like 10 hours for somebody to come and save you. So I carry around a pump. I usually carry around other tools like tire plugs and stuff like that, just in case I actually get a flat, because you might not even really need to change the spare sometimes. If you know what you're looking for and you know what you're doing, then I recommend you do it yourself, or at least you try to teach yourself, and maybe you can save some money, which is probably the most important part for most people. So I have a Husky 12-volt air inflator. This was wicked cheap. I think I got this at Lowe's. It was the cheapest one to have. It's the only one you really need. Most cars nowadays have the cigarette lighters or the 6-volt, 12-volt outlet, whatever. Or you can get one with like the USB connection. You can get one that's a battery operated. You just keep charged batteries on you. I like this style because it just runs off the power of the truck. The only problem sometimes I see with these is depending on what car you have. Sometimes cigarette lighters in certain cars will be a little finicky and it'll just pop the fuse. Which on my Scion, this pops the fuse constantly, and I don't know why. I don't think there's any. I tried both cigarette lighters, and they would work for a while, and as soon as the temperature got cold, what I'm guessing is since this sits inside my car, when this gets cold, it's going to have more internal resistance, and what I think is happening is it's pulling too many amps through that fuse, and it's actually killing it and popping the fuses. This has a fuse in between right here as a safety, so it doesn't actually kill your pump, which is a pretty big fuse, so usually this never blows out. It did blow out once. It was a really hot day, and I was cranking on this thing constantly trying to fill a tire with air, so I let it get a little hot, and I did pop the fuse, but I always carry spares on me. You should always carry spare fuses. So let me see here. Yeah, so I mean, it even says a 12 volt or 15 amp. Most cigarette lighters are 15 amp, but if there's just ever so slightly internal resistance in the circuit, sometimes it blows the fuses. Anyway, this is the style I like to use. You can get whatever style you want based on what you want. USB-C, I'm sure that exists, battery operated cigarette lighter, whatever. I'm gonna use my cigarette lighter, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to hook it up. I didn't know it was on, so it scared me. That right there, where I have that hooked up to right there, that's my 12-volt socket. It even says 12-volt on it, if you can see that. Don't judge me. I know I need to clean my truck. It's a truck. That's what it's for. So, you don't want to pinch the wire in your door, but you can shut your door. I'm just going to kind of shut it a little bit so you can see what it is I'm doing. Now, I'm going to just point the camera like that. There you go. So, on your tire, right here, I actually need to rotate these, but you will have a maximum pressure. If you look around the tire, you can see that the tire actually says how much. So this one says 40 PSI. Well, this one says 40 PSI to seat the beads. Some of them don't say that. Some of them say a maximum pressure. Yeah, it says it right here. Maximum pressure of the tire itself, it does not want you to exceed, maybe because of like tire deformations or stuff like that. It's 44 PSI. So I am going to go ahead and unscrew your valve cap. Now, if your valve cap's stuck, that's a problem. That's a whole other problem, and you should probably look that up in another video on how to get it off, because if your valve cap is stuck, that's an issue. So go ahead and plug your thingy on there, and let's see what I'm at for pressure. The gauge is going to move up really slowly. I am actually over the pressure. I am at 33 pounds. So I'm gonna let air out. All right, that is 30 PSI. Now, whatever you do, you should check the health of your valve stems. Wiggle them around just a little bit, not a lot. If they seem like they're really stiff or brittle, and I mean like they're gonna be a little stiff, obviously, because they need to be. They're not gonna be all flimsy. But if they seem brittle and like you feel like you're gonna break something, don't play with them, because then once you break them, you're stuck. So you need to make sure that the health of them is pretty good. And what the heck happened here? Do the rear and then we'll do the other side. I'm surprised that they're actually overinflated in the cold weather, so that means I was running my pressures kind of high. I hadn't adjusted them, so maybe they just needed to be. All right, that's really it. I just wanted to make that quick video. If you have tire pressure sensors in your car, which most people do, and most people who see the light pop on are gonna probably click on a video like this, don't worry. Stop. I wouldn't even trust the sensor a lot of the time. Sometimes if the sensor's flashing, chances are that it has nothing to do with your tire pressure. It could be a sensor malfunction. If the light stays solid, most of the time it means that the sensor is actually reading properly or not reading properly. It really depends, but you should be checking your tire pressure in your car regularly, maybe like once a month. Honestly, if you're an ordinary person that isn't very mechanically inclined, you should be checking the oil in your car. You should be checking your tire pressure, the basic things that you can check on your own at least once a month. It saves you a trip to the dealership. It saves you money. You know, try and just start to learn things on your own, to be honest. And things like that will come in handy. You can do it for your friends, help your friends out. And, you know, I'm going to start making videos where I start giving people little tips and tricks so they can start to do things on their own. That's kind of the idea here. So that is all. Thank you for watching. See you later. Oh, one more thing. For some cars, if you're trying to reset the tire pressure sensor, you might have to drive the car for a while, because after you set your tire pressures, your cars need to relearn essentially what the pressures were. Depending on what kind of car you drive, sometimes they have a special procedure, so I would look that up individually. But as long as you know your tire pressure is actually okay, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. As long as you've checked it manually and you know it is, don't listen to the light on your car. As long as you see it for yourself with your own eyes, what your actual pressures are, I would not worry about it. All right, now you can see. I can see you later. See ya.